The last time I watched porn was February 13th, 2019. That means I've been 2,050 days 100% free of my pornography addiction. And in those 5+ years, I've launched 2 top-ranked podcasts on Apple. I've launched a successful multiple 6-figure coaching business. I've coached other individuals, over a dozen individuals, to building and scaling their own online businesses. I spoke on stages all across the state of Florida. I've connected with and interviewed some of the world's leading experts in psychology, in neuroscience, in relationships, in health, in fitness, and many other parallels. So in today's episode of The Real Man, I want to share with you 10 life lessons from 2,050 days 100% free of pornography to hopefully inject into you the inspiration, the motivation that you need to conquer this behavior in your life, to quit porn for good, to reboot, rewire your brain, but ultimately, gentlemen, go on to become the man that God has called each and every single one of you to be. For those of you that are new here, my name is Coach Frank Rich, founder of Rebuilt Recovery, host of the Rebuilt Man podcast, and it is our mission to help men become better men by quitting porn and rebuilding their lives. And we'll invite you into our brand new school community. We just launched the #1 free community in the world on school for men looking to become better men by quitting porn and rebuilding their lives. So you can join us if you visit school.com/The Rebuilt Man or click the link down there in the show notes below. But 10 lessons, gentlemen, 10 lessons today from 5+ years, 2,050 days free of pornography. Lesson number 1. This is undeniable. Life is better without porn. Every single one of you know this to be true, but until you experience it, until you walk in that freedom of pornography, until you remove this vice from your life, until you've broken the chains of this addiction, you will not truly understand how much your pornography addiction is holding you back. I thought that I was a successful business owner. I thought that I was a successful bodybuilder. I thought that I had a lot of life's questions figured out, solved, and answered. But what I realized is I was just living a life, a shell of myself. The guilt, shame, fear, anxiety that I was carrying around was holding me back from truly experiencing the success, the fulfillment, the joy, the meaning that life is here to offer to every single one of us. Lesson number 1 from 5+ years free of pornography is life is undeniably better without porn. Lesson number 2 is your freedom, my freedom, is going to be found in our truthful and honest speech. This was a massive takeaway from my conversation with Dr. Anna Lemke. And I can remember going back to 2019, those first couple of weeks in that beginning month of February when I was trying to find my freedom. The more I talked about it, the more I opened up about it, the more I shared it with others, the more freedom that I began to experience. Your freedom is going to be found in you finding the ability to be truthful and honest and walk in integrity in every single area of our life. Freedom is found in truthful and honest speech. And that leads us to the third lesson here, is nobody meaningful in your life will judge you for your struggles. I know a lot of us carry this guilt, this shame, this fear of what happens if they find out. And that keeps us shackled from taking action. That keeps us shackled from voicing our struggles. That keeps us shackled from reaching out for help. But here's what I know to be 100% the case. Nobody meaningful in your life is going to judge you for your struggles. And if they do judge you, chances are their judgment of you is deflection of their own internal struggles that they're fighting with. Freedom is going to be found in your ability to talk about this and your ability to walk in your truth and walk in your struggles. Your test will become your testimony. I can guarantee that to you. So number 3 is nobody meaningful in your life is going to judge you for the things that you struggle with. Lesson number 4 here is gratitude is going to become one of the most powerful tools in your life to shift your overall perspective. Gratitude is like a flip that we can switch, a switch that we can flip to take us from a pessimistic lens, a pessimistic worldview, to truly seeing the world through an optimistic lens. I know what it's like to struggle for decades. I know what it's like to feel like there never be a way out of it. But the minute you begin to find things to be grateful for, little moments throughout your day to bring gratitude into your heart will change the way that you show up and take on the day-to-day struggles of conquering this addiction. Gratitude will become one of the most powerful tools in you shifting your overall perspective. And this leads us to number 5. Lesson number 5 is your life will become a byproduct of your thoughts. The life that you live is a byproduct of your thought life. And if you do not get control of these thoughts, you will constantly be a slave to them. The Bible tells us to take every thought captive. And that means we must be in control. And if we are allowing our thoughts to control us, then we are not actually living in the moment. Get in a gratitude practice. Begin to have some reflection journaling throughout your day so that you can cycle through the thoughts, so you can understand where they're coming from. We coach all the men in our program on how to decipher their thoughts and how to make sure that they are not a slave and a captive to those thoughts. So number 5 here is your life that you experience and the life that you will live will become a byproduct of your thought life. Lesson number 6 here, and this is one that I'm walking out here every single day, even though I'm 5 years free of pornography, is freedom is not an end destination. It is a continuous pursuit that we are on until the day that we die. And what I mean by that is you are constantly chasing the next version of yourself. You are constantly chasing leveling up in your development, leveling up and reaching your potential. And the minute you take your eyes off of chasing the greater version of you, the chances of you falling back into that lesser version exponentially grows. So we constantly need to be growing, evolving, putting ourselves in front of difficult things, learning, building new skill sets, connecting with new people, taking on new risks, diving into new opportunities. Freedom from pornography will never be an end destination. We must constantly be chasing, becoming this new version of ourselves. And that leads us to number 7. Doing hard things makes life meaningful. Okay, and I was very particular about choosing that word meaningful. Doing hard things will not make your life easy. And in fact, doing hard things is going to make your life harder. But the meaning in your life is going to be a byproduct of the hard things that you endure on a day-to-day basis. I love the way that Joe Rogan articulates this. The hardest thing you do every single day should be something that you choose. Whether it's a workout, a cold plunge, a sauna session, 3 to 4 hours of intense deep work on a passion project that you're trying to launch to the world. Doing these hard, difficult things is what brings meaning and purpose into your life. It will not make it easy. It's going to make it harder because you're doing harder things, but your growth, your potential, this new version of you is going to be on the other side of those hard things, okay? So number 7 here is doing hard things is what's going to create meaning in your life. Number 8 is going to speak to a lot of the social media content that is on the internet these days around what is an alpha male. And I can tell you a lesson that I've learned over the last 5 years is the ability to control your sexual urges is something that only real alphas do. Yes, alpha's status is not defined by your income. It is not defined by your height. It is not defined by your sexual prowess. Real alphas is truthful and honest speech, walking in integrity, service of others, love-oriented life first. Real alphas control their sexual urges. They do not go around thinking and stacking up how many women they can sleep with. I lived that life in the past. I see a lot of men living that life right now. We have a lot of guys that come into our program that buy into this red pill lie. And the minute they go down that hole, they've realized that it is just a bottomless pit of meaningful or meaningless pleasure pursuits. Real alphas have the ability to control their sexual urges, control their sexual desires. Number 9, this one's going to hit a lot of you real hard right now, is you have to understand that your phone and perhaps social media is the gateway drug to your pornography addiction. If porn is the addiction, the gateway to get us there oftentimes is our phone and social media. And the quicker we can learn to control our behaviors around those things, the quicker we're going to be able to find the real freedom in our life from pornography. So the phone, social media is the gateway drug to your porn addiction. And number 10, gentlemen, here, this is one that we've been driving home real hard over the last couple of weeks inside of our group coaching program, and is that real peace, real freedom is going to be found in the stillness. Overcoming this addiction is not about making yourself busy throughout the day. It is not about constantly being distracted. You have to learn to be able to sit in the quiet, sit in the stillness. And brother, I can tell you, when you get to that point, you have ultimately unlocked real peace in your life. Peace is going to be found in the stillness throughout your days. 2,050 days free of pornography. We've launched an incredible organization here, the #1 coaching program in the world that has helped over 1,000 men conquer this addiction, become free in their lives. We've just created a brand new free school community that I want to invite you in. Rebuilt Recovery. If you go to school.com/The Rebuilt Man or click the link down there that is in the show notes below, you can join us inside our brand new community. We are giving away the tips, the tactics, the strategies, but more importantly, bringing together a group of like-minded men that are all aiming to become better by quitting porn and rebuilding their lives. 10 lessons. I want to know down in the comments below which one struck you the most, and where are you in your journey right now, and what is it that you're struggling with most today? Coach Frank, the Rebuilt Man, we love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.